The gentleman at DDC, stand by for a moment. Gentlemen at DDC, please say your name, sir. Sir? Can you tell me your name and can you speak up? We seem to have some audio issues. Sir, I didn't hear your name, so you're going to need to speak up, please. Nope. Let's try it this way. Are you Karim Blake Moore? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we got that far. Okay. Is it Blake Moore or is it Moore? Okay, Mr. Blakemore, magistrate at Chapter, you're here on a criminal matter, case number 240-5786001. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Please, the court, Your Honor. Good afternoon. My name is Adam Clements by P number 77233. I appear on behalf of the defendant. Your Honor, we'd waive the formal reading of the information, ask that he be allowed to stand mute and the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Here we go. Court dates are July 5th, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, July 10th, 2024, both matters on front of Judge Jefferson. All right, Mr. Moore, let's see. Bond conditions. One is there's no assaultive or combative behavior on your part. Do you understand that? I didn't hear you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. So with that being said, we have a prosecutor here. Mr. Prosecutor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Matthew Penny, P74079 for the people.
Go ahead, Esteban.
Esteban, Your Honor, I'm sure you've had an opportunity to read the investigator's report. This is a very serious case that is linked to the unfortunate recent murder of an Oakland County sheriff within the city of Detroit. The charges that are coming forth today are in relation to that investigation. The defendant was asked specific questions about, in the course of that investigation, he elected to give untruthful statements having to do with that. When he was in a car that was involved in the murder of that police officer, he chose to, by his own account, after seeing police lights, ran from the vehicle, ran with two others who were apparently involved, ran 3 blocks away from the scene where the officer unfortunately expired, and it resulted in a dog track finding them within a relatively short period of time on a porch that they didn't belong on. Along the way, 2 guns plus gloves were found, and the defendant during his interrogation was repeatedly asked, why aren't you giving us more information here? He indicated something about being concerned about his safety in the community once he got out of prison. What we have here is an individual who has run away from the police. He's deliberately obfuscated his involvement and not giving truthful answers to the police when trying to solve this. And he is apparently scared of what's going to happen to him. This is a man with a flight risk. He is in the thick of something that is very deep and very, very serious. We asked for a high cash bond, for a tether, and for house arrest. The fact being that his lying for these people that he was with and not giving us the full truth, it certainly brings concern for what he's going to do if he's in the community free and is able to carry their water for them or whomever else.
Council Penny, you said he's in the thick of something. What are we talking about?
Sure. So he was in the vehicle that was involved in shooting and killing the police officer. One of the guns that was found is a .40 caliber gun that apparently shot casings that were found at the scene. A slug has been recovered from the officer's body as well. That appears to be how the officer was shot while still in his vehicle. So he has admitted that he bailed out of the vehicle after shots were fired, and he knew that they shot at the police. So that's a pretty big concern there about what his culpability is and what his involvement is.
Okay, and what are you asking for? You said
High
a cash bond.
A high cash bond. We're recommending.
Give me a number.
100,000 cash, Your Honor.
Okay. GPS tether, home arrest.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Council Clemens, go ahead, sir.
Yes. First of all, I would like to reiterate the fact, of course, that as Mr. Moore sits before you, Your Honor, he's presumed to be absolutely innocent, meaning he's presumed to have done nothing wrong. Now, why it may be important and it may be vital for the prosecution to highlight and indicate that that his charges stem from allegations related to what is ultimately linked to the death of an Oakland County sheriff does not remove from the fact that he's presumed innocent. And certainly, Judge, as you look at the charges before you, they are nonviolent in nature. The individual before you has no prior criminal history, no prior criminal record. His
Council Clemens, you're not coming
in this particular area. When we talk about him being a flight risk, at the jurisdiction, he's retained counsel. As it relates to whether or not he'll be complying with conditions, I certainly believe that there's conditions that can be imposed that can ensure the safety of the community and that can ensure he returns to court. I would have no objection to him being placed on a GPS tether, but when asking him, an 18-year-old young man, to post a $100,000 cash security bond, you're basically saying you want him remanded on charges that are not violent, on charges that are not assaultive, and he's not even charged with being in possession of any firearms. Now, I credit the prosecutor's offices for not being in a rush to judgment or a rush to judge or just charging him with homicide, and that could come down the line. I don't know, but what you have in front of you is a nonviolent, non-assaultive, albeit serious charge. But to somehow suggest that a $100,000 cash bond would be appropriate, I must strongly disagree. I think that for all the parameters that we normally set forth in bond cases, if he's got ties to the community, if it's a nonviolent offense, and if there's conditions that can be put in place to ensure that he returns to court, we should certainly do that. So I'm asking the court to issue a personal bond. I'm asking the court we have no objection to him being on tether to ensure that we know exactly where he is, and he'll be complying with any other conditions that are set forth.
Okay,
If I may
thank you, gentlemen. I've heard the representations of both sides in this particular matter. I see the charges are not assaultive. I see that count 4, assault, resisting, obstructing. I see counts 1, 2, and 3. Each count is lying to a peace officer, violent crime investigation. But I also see in the investigator's report allegations. And yes, he is presumed innocent. Allegedly, he made statements that he's in a motor vehicle and that there was a gunshot from that motor vehicle that he was in. Allegedly, he didn't know who fired, but he ran with some other individuals. Allegedly, he indicated who they were. Okay, that the shot from the motor vehicle that he was with, somebody shot. Okay, in that he did not want to be shot by other cars coming, that he saw red and blue lights, cars behind them, and he knew that it was a police officer that they had shot at. Okay, that's what I'm reading. Okay, in this particular matter. One, I do find, okay, whoever Mr. Moore was hanging with, he either knows him or does not know him, or he was not being truthful because he has at least 3 counts. He's not being truthful. Okay, the allegations that he's not being truthful, I do believe that Mr. Moore is a danger. Okay, whether or not he's a flight risk, I do not know, but being a danger, okay, him being involved with an incident, with somebody was killed, whether that person was a police officer, it was a third party, and whether or not he has retained counsel, Counsel Clemens, unless you are going to have him by your side 24/7, okay, you can only represent him. Am I correct, sir?
That's correct, Judge. He will be going home to his parents on tether, not at my house.
No, only because when you say he has retained counsel, a number of people have retained counsel or appointed counsel. It don't matter. That does not mean that the person may or may not run. Okay, but in this particular matter, I'm not concerned about him running. I am concerned about him being danger. And that is why, one, he will have a GPS tether. He's going to have home arrest, home confinement. And let me write that down. And I do believe he is a danger using clear and convincing evidence standard. When it entertained a monetary bond, I started off with a personal bond in mind, okay? But after hearing the representations and reading the investigator's report, I do believe that Mr. Moore is a danger. So I am going a danger to the community. So I'm going to put him down at $100,000 cash, not surety, not 10%. And being is that Council Clements has indicated that if it was $100,000 cash surety, that's probably, it's an unaffordable bond. He's going to get a bond redetermination for this Friday, which will be June 28th, 2024, 9 o'clock, either in front of Judge McConigal or Judge Williams, who will look at the bond amount and bond conditions.
Did I hear the court correctly that as of now, the bond is set, so he cannot post with a surety agent?
Cash. Council Clemens, I said cash. I didn't say cash surety.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was baffled by that, but
Okay,
okay, that's
sorry.
fine.
Anything else in reference, Council Clemens? Anything else in reference to Mr. Moore?
No, I just highlight that I feel that the bond is currently set is not only it does not comply with the law, I find it to be it runs afoul, one, what the prosecutor asked for, and two, it violates his constitutional rights to be presumed innocent and not be punished by way of bail in a non-violent, non-assaultive crime. To have an individual with no criminal history to not even be given an opportunity to post a surety bond is nothing short of abhorrent and unacceptable. And I'll close the record with that on his behalf.
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you.
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, that concludes your arraignment. Let's see.